Every classroom has its own quiet routines. The way certain students always sit in the same spot. The way the morning light falls across the same desks in the same pattern, day after day. But in this classroom, there was one routine nobody could quite explain. Mia walked in the same way she always did. Calm, quiet, her backpack over one shoulder, her eyes fixed straight ahead. And when she reached her desk, she sat down the way she always did too, leaving the chair right beside her completely empty. Again, not pushed in, not stacked away, just empty, as if it was waiting for someone. Across the room, Leo noticed. He always noticed things other people walked right past, and that chair had been empty for weeks now. Not because nobody wanted to sit there. Other students had tried, more than once, only to be told, gently but firmly, that the seat was taken. Except it never seemed to be taken by anyone at all, and something about that didn't sit right with Leo. "Hey Mia," he said one morning, sliding into the seat behind her. "How come nobody ever sits there?" He nodded toward the empty chair. Mia didn't even look up from her notebook. "It's reserved," she said softly. That was it. No explanation, no meme, just enough of an answer to make the question grow even bigger in Leo's mind. At lunch, he couldn't stop thinking about it. Reserved for who? A cousin who never showed up? A friend from another class? He turned the word over and over in his head like a puzzle piece that refused to fit anywhere. "You doing it again?" his friend said, waving a hand in front of his face. "What? Doing what?" "Thinking about that chair," his friend laughed. "It's just a chair, man." But Leo knew it wasn't, not to Mia. There was something underneath that empty seat, something she wasn't ready to say out loud, and by the end of the day, Leo had made up his mind. He was going to find out the truth, even if it took him a while to get there. The next morning, he got to school earlier than usual. The hallways were still quiet, the lights still humming awake, the whole building holding on to that early half-asleep stillness before the first bell. Leo stood near the classroom doorway, half hidden, and watched. He wasn't entirely sure what he expected to see. He just knew he had to look. Mia arrived a few minutes later, backpack over one shoulder, moving through the empty hallway like she'd done it 100 times before. She walked straight to her desk the way she always did, but this time she stopped. She reached into her bag and set a small, worn notebook down on the empty desk beside her, gently, carefully, like it mattered more than anything else she was carrying that day. Then, just as quietly, she picked her bag back up and slipped out of the classroom, notebook in hand. Leo followed at a careful distance, curious but trying not to be obvious about it. She wasn't heading to class, she was heading to the library. He watched from the entrance as Mia sat alone at a corner table, sunlight falling across the pages in front of her. She opened the notebook and began to write, slowly, thoughtfully, like she was having a conversation with someone who wasn't actually there. Leo couldn't hear the words from where he stood, but he noticed something on the cover of the notebook. 2 names, written in careful handwriting, side by side. Not one name, 2. The next day, Leo made a decision. He walked straight toward the empty chair before he could talk himself out of it, his heart beating a little faster than he expected for something as simple as sitting down. "Is this seat taken?" he asked, half joking, half serious. Mia looked at him for a long moment, like she was deciding something. Then, quietly, she nodded toward the chair. "Go ahead, just this once." He sat. For a while, neither of them said anything. "Do you actually want to know?" Mia asked, finally, her voice steady but careful. "About the chair, I mean." Leo nodded. Mia reached into her bag and pulled out an old photograph, its edges soft and worn from being held too many times. She looked at it for a moment before handing it over. Her name was Amara. She sat right there, every single day. She was my best friend since we were 7 years old. We did everything together. Same lunch table, same walk home, same everything. She paused. Before she moved away, we made a promise that no matter what happened, no matter how far apart we were, I'd keep her seat, like she never really left. Leo looked at the photograph, then at the chair beside him, and finally, he understood. It was never about a piece of furniture at all. It was about a promise a 12-year-old girl had made and never let herself break. "I get it," Leo said gently. "But maybe keeping a promise doesn't mean the chair has to stay empty forever." Mia looked at him, unsure. "What do you mean?" "What if it's not about who's missing," Leo said carefully, "but who you're making room for next? Amara's still your friend, that doesn't go away, but maybe the chair doesn't have to sit empty to prove it." Mia didn't answer right away. She just sat with the idea, turning it the way Leo had turned over the mystery for weeks. That night, she sat at her kitchen table, cutting and folding a piece of paper. Her hands were steady, but her mind was full of memories. Old ones, good ones, the kind that don't hurt anymore. They just linger. By morning, she carried a small handmade sign into class. In careful letters, it read, "A seat for a friend." Leo grinned when he saw it. "That's perfect," he said. Mia smiled too, propping the sign gently against the chair, like she was finally letting it breathe. Just then, the classroom door opened. A new student stepped in, eyes darting around the unfamiliar room, shoulders drawn in tight, the way anyone looks on their first day somewhere new. Mia stood up before she even thought about it. "Hey," she said warmly, "there's a seat right here if you want it." The new student hesitated, glancing at the sign, then at Mia's face, before finally sitting down slowly. For the first time all morning, their shoulders relaxed just a little. Mia smiled, a peaceful kind of smile Leo hadn't seen from her before. He realized then it was never really about the chair. It was about what the chair could hold, memory and welcome both at once, without one having to cancel out the other. For a brief moment, Mia glanced at the old photograph tucked inside her notebook. She smiled softly, remembering Amara's laugh, the way it used to fill up an entire room. Throughout the day, Leo and Mia helped the new student find their way around. The library, the cafeteria, the quiet corners only students who've been there a while ever really know about. By the end of the day, something new had quietly formed between the three of them. Not a replacement for what was lost, just something new growing alongside it. The final bell rang, echoing down the hallway as students spilled out into the afternoon light. "Do you still miss her?" Leo asked as they walked. "Amara, I mean." "Every day," Mia said honestly. "But I don't think moving forward means forgetting. I think it just means making room for new people, new memories, without losing the old ones." Leo smiled. "So does that mean I get the chair tomorrow?" Mia laughed, shoving him lightly. "Don't push it." "Just saying," Leo teased. "First come, first served." They both laughed, the easy laugh of two friends who understood each other a little better now than they had that morning. The next day came quietly, the same as always. Sunlight through the windows, chairs waiting to be filled. Leo arrived early and, with a mischievous grin, plopped himself right down in the once empty chair. Mia walked in, saw him sitting there, and burst out laughing. "Unbelievable," she said, shaking her head, smiling the whole way to her seat. Sometimes moving forward doesn't mean leaving the past behind. It means carrying the good memories with you and making room for new ones too. If this story reminded you of someone you carry with you, share it with them. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this one.